Hello, good evening. Today we are talking about the Beyond Zero campaign, and I believe the Beyond Zero campaign is a classic misdirection of popular effort. I believe that the First Lady has convening power, and the use of this convening power is not satisfactory, in my opinion, in this case. Why do I believe so? Okay, I have a few points to make. First, the First Lady needs to do something. That's understandable. Uh, Whatever she's doing right now with the Beyond Zero campaign, it's not making an impact. It will not have a lasting impact on the nation. And I believe that there are other things that she could do, and she's not doing them. So I'm hoping that she'll do them. So my title for this video is the Beyond Zero campaign is a middle class workout session. So that's what I believe. It's a chance for the middle class to go out and have some fun, run a bit, become healthy, and do all of those things. So I had a bit of background to this story, why it began. Today I think the First Lady was launching another edition of the Beyond Zero marathon, and I thought that it would be a nice opportunity to reflect on this issue to see if it's an issue that works, if it's a solution that works. So with a bit of statistics behind it, the maternal mortality rate in Kenya was 488 deaths per 1,000. That's per 100,000 live births. That's in 2015. So we wanted to reduce that by 147 per 100,000 live births by the time Beyond Zero was launching, that was in 2013, the mortality rate was 488 deaths per 100,000 live births. We wanted to reduce that. That's from 2013. We wanted to reduce that by 2015 to 147. So that's 488 to 147 per 100,000 live births by 2015. So anyway, I got some information from JQuad. They were building a Beyond Zero app. I don't know if that app is still there, but here's what they had. They say that in January 2017, that's when Beyond Zero was formed, and it was in partnership with the government to reduce mortality, child mortality rates, and maternal mortality, as I've said. Spearheaded by the First Lady, Margaret Kenyatta, the Beyond Zero campaign was part of the initiatives. It was a strategic framework. They wanted to control HIV. They wanted to, help the newborns, and then promote them in life in terms of healthcare as during the first years of their lives. So very noble concepts, very valid statistics behind it. 488 deaths to 147. That was the target. So did we achieve this target? Some information from the Star. That's June 20th, 2017. The Star says that yes, we achieved this target. We got it down to 138 deaths, from 488 to 138. I think that's a marvelous achievement. And we got it from 488 to 362, right? So that's a bit good, right? It's not perfect because we had aimed at 147, but it's a bit good. 488 to 362 will get to 147 at some point, right? But we're at number 138 in the world in terms of this. That's a bit bad, but again, we've improved. So anyway, different counties have different rates of mortality. Like Mandera, 3,795 deaths per 1,000 live births. That's very, very high. Remember, what we had was 488. So this one is still higher than 488. Then we went to 362. This one is close to 4,000 deaths. So it's way higher than 362. So something is happening in Mandera, and you need to know what's happening in Mandera. So that's what happened. 10 women die every day in the country due to birth complications. So that's a bit sad also, don't you think? I believe that it's a bit sad. Wajir is also bad because it's 168, 1,683. Turkana it's above 1,500. Marsabit it's at 1,100. Isiolo it's at 790. So it seems that northeastern and semi-arid regions, they are very, very, very high when it comes to this maternal mortality rates. And for the average to come at 362, it means that these others are very low, right? So there's a huge disparity in terms of the maternal deaths per 100,000 births in Kenya. Same country, highly varied rates of maternal deaths. So that's something we need to check on. So anyway, the first lady, she needs to do something. That's my first point. First ladies need to do something in the world. Margaret Kenyatta is focusing on this. Other first ladies are focusing on other issues, but they need to do something. Why? Because we are human and we have these traditions, and we believe that a woman, people should not just sit there, including wives of presidents. They should be seen, they should be known, they should be working to be an example to the people and to their fellow women, right? That we all are working hard, even those who have the privilege of being the wives of the president, right? So I took some verses to show that, to emphasize on women working hard. They come from Proverbs 31. Now, Proverbs 31 were the sayings of a king of Massa, from a king of Massa. His name was Lemuel, and his mother taught him these sayings. So anytime we recite this, remember that it's from King Massa. His name was Lemuel, and his mother taught him. So what did his mother teach him? That where do you find a woman of character? And she is more precious than any jewel. So that's also part of the teaching. She is strong and dignified, as Margaret Kenyatta is. She speaks wisely and her words are kind, as Margaret Kenyatta speaks. And she reaches out her hand to the helpless and gives to the poor, as Margaret Kenyatta is trying to do. So you can see the noble character in Margaret Kenyatta. I think that that's nice, right? Wanted to give an impact. There was some time back that guys were drinking themselves silly, going blind from all of this illegal alcohol, and it was bringing a lot of problems, I think, in Uhuru's backyard mostly, and I think it was disturbing the peace of Margaret Kenyatta. So when she is disturbed, then the president is disturbed. So the president told chiefs that they will not sleep if he is not sleeping, and he's not sleeping because the peace of his wife is in trouble. So wives can really have an impact. And I wanted to give an example of Theodora, the empress of the Byzantine Empire. Theodora was a great woman, and as of course she's remembered, as I'm quoting her right now. Theodora, what happened was that during her time, that is in 532 AD, there were Nika riots. Nika riots were riots between there were competitors in the games. You remember the Roman Empire used to have games. Byzantine was the Eastern Roman Empire, so it used to have games also. And there were games between the Greens and the Blues, and those games developed, and the competition between the two was so intense that they turned out to be riots. And then people saw that they could take advantage of these riots to overthrow the empire. And Justinian and his officials, the court officials, they felt, wow, we cannot control this crowd. This is too much. So let us run as fast as we can. And they tried to run because the rioters had installed a new emperor. His name was Hypatius. So everything was going down. But then Theodora thought, she didn't think. She just came to the palace. She sat on a throne, and she had won very nicely, and she told the king that the most noble shroud to be buried in is royal purple. Shroud is the burial cloth, so the most royal burial cloth is purple, that she would die as a queen in her purple shroud, in a purple gown. And she told the king that the worst death that a king, the emperor, that the worst death that a king can have is to die not being a king. It is better that he dies as a king. So people knew that she wasn't going anywhere. She had decided that she's staying, and she stayed. And the king and his officials, Justinian and his officials, were kind of like, wow, this woman, what's wrong with her? What's up with her? The riot is out of control. They have installed a new emperor. Is they surviving this? But this queen was so adamant. So, hey, Theodora and his troop thought, Justinian and his guys, they were ashamed that a woman could have so much bravery than they, and they decided to stay, and they did stay, and that was a good thing. So anyway, that's an impact that a queen can actually have on the entire nation through her king. So Beyond Zero is not having an impact, in my opinion, right? And it's not having an impact because you have this desire to feel good as opposed to this desire to make a lasting impact. And I believe that the intentions of Margaret Kenyatta are pure, but the people around her, they want to feel good, they want to be there, they want to take selfies with the first lady and all of those things. But at the end of the day, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing on the ground, right? There is no mass in lies, so I will not lie. There is nothing good that's happening here. I want to give some examples. Babies discovered at Pumwani. Nobody from Beyond Zero talked about it. Why? And this is a maternity issue. This is a child issue. These are the first years of a child. Nobody's talking about it. But babies are being discovered in boxes at Pumwani maternity. And what is Beyond Zero dealing with? Maternal deaths. So, you can't keep silent when things are the most controversial. As they say, it's at times of controversy that you know the true character of a person. Dr. Irim, when he was aborting kids, when he was putting the lives of the mothers in dangers, having interns perform procedures on removing placentas from the mother, where was Beyond Zero at that time? Isn't this a maternity issue? Isn't it a maternity issue? When people are speaking about the abortion debate, they were saying that mothers are dying because of abortion, quoting statistics that Beyond Zero also quotes. Where was Beyond Zero to say that these are the factors that causing maternity deaths? Where was Beyond Zero saying that, we are also not focusing on abortion because we do not believe in it, or perhaps because the society is not ready for it. We will never be ready for abortion because it's bad. But anyway, what I'm saying is that during times of controversy, that's where you truly know a person or an organization, and at these times it was silent. So that's just what I'm saying. Anyways, just to give some brief statistics, Kenya's fertility rate is at 3.9, Africa's fertility rate is 4.6, and the world's fertility rate is at 2.5. So we're in the middle somewhere. We might need to look at that in the future. What's the trend? Because the trend, what I have is that we used to be at 8.1, right? We are now at 3.9. So that's a dramatic drop in fertility. We need to check that. Anyway, still with that dramatic drop in fertility, at least 2 babies are being born in Kenya every minute. So before this is over, perhaps it will take, it's now at 12 minutes. Perhaps babies will be born in that's 12 times 2, that's 24 babies. Welcome. So anyway, Beyond Zero had some statistics to show that it's actually working. It said that it donated 47 mobile kits to 47 counties. Again, why is it doing that? Mandera has around nearly 4,000 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births, right? The counties that are bringing the average down, right? Let's say the ones even at the average at 362. Why would you donate an equal number of mobile clinics to these counties? Doesn't it seem like Mandera needs more, like Turkana needs more, like Wajir needs more? So again, there is this focus on appearance, on like the appearance now is equality. We're doing it for all the counties, but if you're really doing it for the maternal deaths, then you'd really have a different distribution of the 47 kits. So anyway, what Beyond Zero also does is that it takes the kits and then it hands them over to the mobile clinics, and it hands them over to the county government. I call it a washing of hands, because they know that if you take those mobile clinics and you continue operating them, then people will come and question, are these things working? How many babies did you treat? How many mothers did you treat? And I believe they would not be able to answer that question because they don't have those mechanisms to sustain, right? But if you give them to the counties, whether the counties sustain them or they do not sustain them, then it is no longer your fault. You have washed your hands of the mobile clinics that you gave them, right? And in any case, that's the fallback position. The counties are supposed to do it. So that's why I'm calling it a washing of hands. And that's why you don't really have statistics on what transpired after that. Because the only statistics I have is that the 47 mobile clinics have provided almost 500,000 integrated services. From what period to what period? It's still still providing in terms of annually? What is it providing? This is from 2013 to 2017, right? So anyway, transfer of ownership from Beyond Zero to the county governments. I believe that it's a washing of hands, although there's some reasoning behind it, because the county governments' health is their responsibility and they're supposed to take care of this. And again, if it's the responsibility of the county governments, why are you doing it? But all the help that can come to the county government is also good. Again, we must remember that there are facilities laying idle at county governments. I'm just saying. So anyway, so some of the services that these clinics are supposed to provide are HIV testing and then cancer screening centers now. So that's good. The active citizen participation rate, there were 3 editions from 2013 to 2017 for Beyond Zero. 3 editions, right? And they raised 600 million. So Kenyans, the middle class, running, taking selfies and then raising cash. So they raised a lot of cash, 600 million. So that's a good thing, as in it's for the kids. All the help that can be had, it's good. So anyway, in 2016, the Beyond Zero was expanding and it was now including children with disabilities. So that's a good thing. Operation started in 2013, formalized in 2014 with the First Lady spearheading it, and then now it's expanding to include children with disabilities. Now here's another, that's in 2016 when it's expanding to include children with disabilities. In the same 2016, the Business Daily made some revelations, right? Like 515 million was lost from Afya House, from the Ministry of Health. That 515 million was to be used for AIDS control programs. Now you remember Beyond Zero is providing HIV AIDS testing, right, for maternity, I think, for mothers, I think mostly to prevent the transmission and all those things. And here you have 515 million stolen. Nearly all that was collected by Beyond Zero from 2013 to 2017. Again, we have 800 million lost for portable clinics. So Beyond Zero is donating 47 mobile clinics. I have an issue with how it's donating it, but it's still donating. And then we have 800 million lost for mobile clinics, for portable clinics, right? And then Beyond Zero is focusing on maternity healthcare and all of those things. And then we have 889 million lost because of maternity healthcare staff lost, right? So that's a bit of an issue also. So you can see there's a lot of effort that Beyond Zero is putting into, and then there's a lot of effort for people who are stealing from what Beyond Zero is trying to focus on. Again, when you close one tap, right, to prevent the outflow of water, and then you open 20 taps are still open or are opening, there's still an outflow of water. So our focus should be on the outflow of water. We should stop it. That would have a lasting impact. And Theodora gave an example where she put her foot down and told the king that I'm not going anywhere, we're going to stay here. Beyond Zero, we can have a truly significant impact if somebody was to put the foot down and say that, this is going to end. The king was obliged to, the emperor was obliged, Justinian, to follow Theodora's lead. She was too brave, she was too forceful, she was too strong for even his officials to resist, right? Uhuru, he was strong when it came to the chiefs drinking. Perhaps some strength is necessary at this point, right? That perhaps a truly lasting impact, like how Theodora affected the entire Byzantine Empire. Perhaps we can have that kind of effect here, where somebody would put the foot down and say that, we need to sort out this theft, because I'm trying this, but then there's 50 other taps open over here, so there's no impact that I'm having, right? Of course, there are other mechanisms that you can do, the redistribution of clinics and all of that, but here's where everything is. You're donating 47 clinics, 800 million is being stolen for portable clinics. So that's something that we should do. Why are we focusing on this issues, because focusing on the true solution is a bit difficult. It's too much. We cannot focus on that, because when somebody puts their foot down, like Theodora was ready to die in her purple shroud, yeah, at the end of the day, death is really not death, but some significant consequence, that some significant suffering that you'll face when you put your foot down. But that, whatever you'll face, will change everything, and that will be your legacy, like Theodora's legacy was. I'm not saying that anybody should risk their life. I'm just saying that putting the foot down is important, and it's good. So anyway, just to go a bit fast because night is coming. What should I believe that the first lady should focus on other issues. Like when you focus, people will not vilify you on trivial matters, but they will recognize your effort. If you focus on healthcare, people will see that yes, you're bringing this, but this one is being stolen, and you are close to the presidency, right? So they will hit at you. They will ask you, why don't you talk to the presidency? Why don't you be like Theodora and put your foot down and all of those things? And that will actually put some strain on you, because you're doing it from your heart. Yeah, you understand that things are happening. You're trying the best that you can, and people might not understand that. But when you focus on these other issues, let's say like the wildlife issues, when you focus on building bridges, then people will not vilify you personally so much, because yeah, they will understand when you build bridges and it does not work, then people say, yeah, she tried her best. The other party was not willing, but she did her best. But when you have a party next to you who could end all of those things at Afya House, then people would not really accept the clinics as a measure of helping, when they know where the real problem is. So anyway, just to go on that, I wanted to talk about Eleanor Roosevelt, and this is what I'm saying. Franklin Roosevelt provided Eleanor Roosevelt with all the support that she needed to fight for her cause, right? She was fighting for the rights of women. Franklin supported her all through. Franklin was a supporter of civil rights. Eleanor came and she actually became a director of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So you can get there was support from her spouse. There was really support. And if people had stolen from Afya House and Eleanor was trying to end maternity deaths, there would be a reckoning. Franklin would not allow that. So okay, what I'm saying is that I believe that, as I said, Margaret Kenyatta is a great woman. I truly respect her, but perhaps she's not receiving the support that she should have, right? And that support can only come from one place. Okay, so just to go, I believe that perhaps she should focus on non-controversial causes. People will not vilify her. She would have a legacy, like some other first ladies. They focused on building libraries, right? And those libraries are still there until today. I think the White House, I think that was whose wife. I can't remember whose wife it was, but they did that, right? Okay, just to finish up, the Beyond Zero campaign is a misdirection of the convening power of the First Lady. That's what I believe. The First Lady, yes, they need to do something. First Ladies need to do something, right? But choose what you do carefully so that it can have a lasting impact. And though your heart is in the right place, I believe that support is not forthcoming, and that it's sad, but it's there. And if you had that support, then Beyond Zero would really make an impact, because the first place to start would have been the theft at the Ministry of Health. But when you bring so much, and then tens and as in billions are being stolen, because that Afya scandal was 5 billion, so tens are being stolen. That's another issue. So yeah, what could she do? Focus on wildlife issues and reconciliation, and then build an impact there. Again, if Kibaki's wife and Raila's wife had some kind of reconciliation mechanism before 2007, things would not have been that bad, right? And even our debates would have been different. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, so the First Lady has convening power. I believe that it can be used in terms of bringing light to other issues, non-controversial, because this one is not having an impact. Other issues that can impact the nation significantly, like others built libraries and all that kind of stuff, non-controversial things. And because you can't do something where there's one tap that's closed, but you're closing one tap and 50 taps are open, because at the end of the day, the people will feel mocked, and they don't want to be mocked. They want solutions to that problem. And that's why people, even at one time, they had to suspend the Beyond Zero, because they knew that the mockery that would come because of it. So anyway, so I think I'm done, right? Scrutiny of their effort is inevitable. Scrutiny of a first lady's effort is inevitable, and I'm scrutinizing that. Other people have been strong on that. I haven't been that strong, but I've tried to be strong as possible. Tangible results. It's a legacy. We do not want people to be remembered as people who led the middle class to their workout sessions where they'll take selfies and all that. We want a legacy where, even if it's small, people would say that was a legacy. That was not a misdirection of effort. That is something that had an impact. But at the end of the day, when you look at the clinics, and then there's no clinic one. If there's no clinic, that is, there's no. You look at the amount that was stolen from those clinics through those clinics. If they are there, then it's higher than whatever you give in. All those kind of things. So we need a bit of change. So that was my Beyond Zero focus today. I hope that it was helpful. Sorry for the dim lights, right? It's getting dark. Have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.